Welcome everyone to part 3 about my PhD program, namely the PhD program of the Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology Graduate University. And today I will be talking about the flaws of the program, but also tell you why you should still consider to join the program and for whom the program may be the right choice and who should probably not apply. Okay, let's talk about rotations. We have to undertake 3 rotations in our first year, so that means that we rotate in one lab for 3 months and then rotate in the next lab for 3 months, then rotate in a third lab for 3 months, and only after these 3 rotations we decide which lab we will be joining for our thesis research. So basically these rotations are a very good idea. And so because the PhD program at the Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology Graduate University is an interdisciplinary program, we are asked to undertake one rotation as an out-of-field rotation. So one of our rotations has to be in an area which we didn't study beforehand or which isn't our main focus of study. So for me, I'm classified as a life scientist at the institute, so I had to undertake a rotation in physics, and I was more or less placed in a quantum physics lab. And so it's kind of a good idea to get to know the language of a different field, but, and here's the big but, there are no guidelines for rotations, which basically means you have no idea what you may or may not expect, which is especially a problem for out-of-field rotations, because you don't really know how much help you're to expect, how much help to understand the concepts of a different field, whether you have or don't have to understand all the concepts, or whether you should at least get a basic theoretical knowledge, and whether you can expect to get help to understand the basics of the field, or whether you have to read it all up on your own, and whether you should just expect to be occupied for 3 months and press a button for 3 months, or whether you can expect more. And so I basically pressed a button for 3 months, changed some parameters, and in the end my process worked, but I had the feeling it's something someone in first year undergraduate program can do. So it wasn't really satisfying, and I would have liked to get to know more about the theory behind what I'm doing, or the theory of what the unit is doing, but it's really hard to study quantum physics on your own, and there were a couple of other courses in the term I needed to take and I wanted to take, so yeah, I couldn't really take the basic quantum physics course, and I didn't really got much help from my professor. Actually, I saw him 2 times during my whole rotation, and so it's really hard to know whether something goes wrong in your rotation if there aren't any guidelines. So one big flaw are these missing guidelines, is this missing orientation about what to expect in a rotation in general, and especially in your out of field rotation. Okay, another problem apart from the rotations is that a lot of our PIs are very young, especially a lot of the Japanese PIs are very young and inexperienced, so teaching isn't always at the level where you would expect teaching at a graduate school, and often, and that's a problem which is even worse, often there is no outline for courses and you don't really know how a course is structured and what's expected for you to do to pass. And so it's kind of hard to plan your work. It's already hard because we have these rotations and we have to do practical work. So planning in courses or coursework, or planning your practical work around coursework, is already pretty hard. And so if you don't really know what you have to do to pass a course and you can't really plan your time, this makes things even harder. So yeah, it's kind of again about missing guidelines. So actually, OIST kind of expects every professor to tell you at the beginning of the course what you will need to do in order to pass the course, but it's just not the case. It's not happening all the time, and OIST has to enforce it. They need to enforce it to get students to be able to plan their work during a term. Okay, so finally, why am I still there? Well, it's not exactly easy to move back to Germany from Japan, but that's not the main reason. I mean, if I would really think the program is totally off, I would leave and move back to Germany. But I'm basically still at OIST because I still think having an interdisciplinary institute without any departmental boundaries, where you can actually do research across interdisciplinary boundaries, is still a very good idea and is still worthwhile to be recognized, and is still a good place to be for me as a neuroscientist. So in general, I think OIST is offering a really good environment for people who want to do interdisciplinary research, and it's probably the best place to be if you want to do interdisciplinary research. So if you're a person who wants to undertake any interdisciplinary research and you aren't afraid of some flaws in the program which still need to be fixed, if you aren't afraid to just go to Japan for 5 years, because yeah, it's a big deal to live in a foreign country and then in an alien country like Japan for 5 years. If you aren't afraid, if you are a risk taker, and if you want to undertake interdisciplinary research, then OIST is the right place to be for you. If you're more like a person who wants to have their whole life outlined right now and who wants to know exactly every single pinhole, pitfall of the program, and yeah, who wants to know where graduate alumni students went to, what they did, well, then OIST is probably not the right place for you to be. And you should really consider what type of person you are, how much you want to do interdisciplinary research, and how much you need this interdisciplinary environment to excel, and whether that's worth taking a risk for you or not. And if you think, well, going to Japan, oh my gosh, it sounds so risky and I don't know, no one will hire me. Well, yeah, a lot of us are thinking something like this, like a lot of students are thinking about their future, but we really wanted to undertake interdisciplinary research, and we all thought it's worth the risk. But if you really need to know exactly where alumni went, what are the pitfalls of the program, well, yeah, then it's probably not for you. But in the end, it's your choice, and I hope you will make the right choice for you. And if you still have any unanswered questions about the program or want to have a personal opinion from me about the program or want to know something very specific, well, leave me a comment under the video, leave me a comment below, and I will either answer it in a fourth video or write to you directly, or yeah, come back to you somehow. And yeah, if you like the video, or you like my channel in general, or you like my travel videos, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you next Sunday, hopefully. And yeah, see you next time. Bye, guys.